stopped, so it's going to be like a new video probably. But I think it should be up and live again. I just don't know if it's still echoing or not. Honestly, what I did to the volume actually kind of adjusted my audio level. It got me up as loud as I want to be, preferably. If I have to turn the game up a bit, that's not a problem, but... Actually, wait. Now it's not showing the audio from the Fosco at all. No game audio. I'd have to guess from looking at it. Not 100% sure, but... I know. I'm not sure what's doing that. Oh, well. Well, I know I can play with it later, but I'd rather not have to have an entire hour and a half to 2 hour stream where it's nothing but echo. Oh, and I mean, for sure, I mean, it's just early stream. I mean, other than you and Rag, there's no one watching. So, I mean, there's plenty of time to mess around with it and figure it out. I just don't even really know where to start. Because I have to figure out exactly why it's capturing it twice. I guess I can just do a quick Google search and see if anything comes up. People are getting regular. See if people get that issue regularly. Echo. Okay. Are you sure? Well, it might take a second for you to find the new one and for it to actually load up. Alright.
It's just stuck on the last video. I can't find the other one.
That's alright. It's alright. That should be it there.
Okay.
Although right now I think the issue, even if I solved the echoing, the issue would be more that I'm pretty sure the game audio is not even coming up this time. Because it's not showing on my soundbar, unfortunately. The game? Well, let me go check it out here. Well, that's good, as long as you actually hear the audio. It's just not showing on Streamlabs for me. As long as it can be heard, I don't care. The main thing is figuring out why the heck I'm echoing. Your alerts echoing. No, I'm not looking for alerts echoing. Me, I'm echoing. My mic is echoing.
Also guys, today I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and fix your echo. So if you hear yourself and stuff like that, I'm going to show you how you can get rid of that quite easily. So first off, you want to go over to Mixer. I want to also make sure that there's not like multiple audios, like multiple microphones connected. over to advanced audio settings over here. Now you want to go over to your microphone, and you want to make sure it's not a monitor and output. You want to make sure it's on off. So once it's off, guys, we can.
Oh, I think I might know what the problem is. No, the monitors are all off.
Are your mic too close to you?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know if that's necessarily going to fix anything, though. But it could be placement. I mean, placement could be the problem. I don't know. I did move the mic a little bit since the last stream, and again, I wasn't getting consistent echo anyway. Alright, so that's not the issue. Did it help a little?
This is tiny, but really not. Not enough to notice.
Well, I mean, I can try putting it back to where it was, but it'll take a second before you actually see if there's any effect or not.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Well, again, it'll take about 20 seconds before I actually...
If it's on yours. So what you do is you just want to go ahead and close this off, and now you can actually stop your echo. But if you still have that problem, what you can do is you can go over to settings. You want to go over to audio, and on audio go over to mic device 1, and select the specific mic that you want.
It is much better?
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
I
okay.
asked the boys if they think it's
So it was just too close.
I think so.
Alright, well, hopefully that's definitely the case. Not the audio, the mic, but the thing that the play back the sound to you. So when you say mute yourself, do you mean like on a like on the monitor, like the audio monitor? Because I'm not actually monitoring. Like all the monitors are off, but I did check that.
It's like half the distance apart, so it did help a lot, but it's still echoing.
Yeah. Is it sounding any better now, Rag? Yeah, okay. As weird as it is, the problem was literally just moving my condenser mic back a bit. That's the joy of condenser mics versus, you know, dynamic mics. I can't even bring this thing too close to me, or it just... Blah. I mean, it's a cheap condenser mic too, but... Yeah, I guess I gotta leave it back that far. I moved it a little closer yesterday, and clearly that messed everything up. Alright. Alright. That means we can get back at this. Alright, that's cool. Okay. Oh, ow. Bad start. Okay. Ooh. Whoa, that's not where I want to be jumping. Well, now. I ain't doing too good at all. That's alright. We'll get there. Ah! Gotta remember, I'm not safe around this guy. There we go. And then this one. Yeah. I remembered you. Oof. Beauty. Well, honestly, I thought there was a problem with my capture card too, Rag. I mean, I hope you can hear the game right now, but my OBS Streamlabs isn't showing me, like, anything coming through my capture card. But the missus told me that she can hear it on the stream on her end. I don't know if you can hear the game or not. Oh yeah. Ate that guy for breakfast. Alright. Look. Man. Whoa! Okay. Not keeping that power up. Whoa. Whoa! Alright, one more hit and I'm dead. I am not doing good at all. Wow, okay. That didn't work. That only works with the wheelie guy. Can't go under him. Not fast enough. Oh, that was close. Alright. Alright. Slowly getting around. Oh. Here I was remembering everything perfectly on the first go around. Feeling great. Feeling good. Not this time, though. Just doesn't want to be that easy on me. Alright, you guys can stay there for later if I happen to really be sucking one. Oh, oof. Get down here, you stupid pterodactyl. Alright. Alright, awesome. Glad that OBS is just lying to me. It says that the Fosco audio is not working, but as long as everybody can hear it, we're golden. Okay. Now, hopefully I don't have to do this too many more times, and I can just finish this off already. We're just about done the game, too. So I won't be at this one for too much longer. And I'll probably play one of the emulated games on my flashback here next, while I try to find Sacred Lines Genesis, an actual cartridge copy of it, because I'm not against digital gaming, like, altogether. I don't think it's the best way to go about it, but I believe that with proper legal regulation, there'd be absolutely nothing wrong with digital gaming. Oof. Alright, all the way to the bottom is where we're going. But yeah, yeah, I just feel like it could be regulated a little better, but I do like digital games. But the fact is that one thing about Sacred Lines that makes it really interesting is the fact that, kind of like Battle Kid for Super Nintendo, it's a game that was made way past, you know, the era of the system, but still made on a cartridge for the system. And being that the Sega Genesis was my very first console, and just very nostalgic for me, ooh, I would love to get a copy of the cartridge. However, I've got to find a secondhand copy because it's that or pay $230 some odd to the developer of the game for a signed limited edition copy of the cartridge, because that's all they still had available on their website. And it's very well possible that even that's not available and they just haven't updated the website lately. So who knows? But I'm going to do my best to find it, because there's not much for horror games on the Sega Genesis. And for everything that is horror themed or, you know, like with a scarier, spookier tone is really just still just a basic regular video game. It doesn't, you know, work on the suspense and the horror factor of things. You know what, man? That's a great idea. I was thinking of trying out Chikan, because it also has at least somewhat of a horror theme, and I never played it before. But just before getting the flashback, I started seeing some videos on it. It seems kind of interesting. And then I noticed it was on my flashback, so I figured that might be a cool game to try out. But Altered Beast is a great idea. Never got into it as a kid, and only got to play it, I think, maybe once as a teenager. And I don't remember anything about it, so it would be a pretty, like, blind experience on the game, too. You know, as much as being such a Sega player, I still... Lots of games I've never tried. My collection wasn't exactly the most common one. And I mean, just by the fact that, you know, what came off as popular classic Genesis games to be put on the flashback, I have one of them. Like, I own one of those games. The rest of them are all completely different from anything that I own. So I had a pretty weird collection, I guess, that maybe not a whole lot of people had, but I also just like finding odd titles and collecting those. I've got a Beavis and Butthead and a Ren and Stimpy game. I love those. They're not exactly the greatest games in the world, but just for the factor of what they are and, you know, the novelty of having them. Whoa! Forgot about you again. Whoa! Alright, now we want to go down here. Oh, you're probably waiting right there, aren't you? Yeah, I remembered you that time. You're not sneaking up on me. Alright. Get rid of this guy so I can get the star. Alright. And I mean, the other thing too is, like, I'm starting off on my Genesis flashback, but, you know, I want to play lots of other games. I've got way too many games to sit on them and just strictly do Sega Genesis, but I wanted this flashback pretty much ever since it came out, and I really, really enjoy the fact that I get to play my consoles on, or my cartridges on it, with, you know, with really solid performance. Again, it can be a little annoying. Sometimes the games get a little more sensitive than they were ever meant to be. I mean, that's pretty normal in emulating just about anything. Oops. Look down. Nope. Still don't get to see the bounce. Alright. Oh, there's him. Not that I needed that. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. Alright. Why do I always forget about him? Okay. No, I don't want to jump up there. Alright. Back down here. Stop. Oh, a little health. Oh, no! How dare you! Oh! Alright. We got this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. I don't know. Mario games are alright, but it's a lot of the same thing in early Mario games anyway. But I mean, it's the same thing with Sonic. Jeez, I could, you know. And I mean, at least the original Mario Brothers is playable. You know, they made such an advance from Sonic 1 to Sonic 2 that it's not that it's unplayable, but not having the spin dash is it makes the whole game pretty unbearable. Yeah, I mean, it's the best one. Duck Hunt rocks, man. And Mario, like I said, Mario's pretty great for what it is, but it's a lot of the same, in a large part. But I do like that the innovations were still enough to really keep people invested, but not enough to change up the game so much that it's hard to go back. I find a lot of games do that, whether you're talking about Sonic or Tony Hawk Pro Skater, not being able to do a manual in the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Whew! That is some rough stuff, buddy. Oh, ah! Oh, wow, that's a lot of pterodactyls. Okay, there we go. Are we almost there? I don't want to go down there, do I? No, I don't want to go down there. I want to go here. Ah! Alright. Looking a little better, looking a little better. Whoa! Whoop! Too close to the edge. Or not close enough to the edge. Too close to the edge. Alright, there's a pterodactyl around here somewhere, and he's going to be a jerk about it. Come here, pterodactyl. I know you're over there. What? I was positive there was a pterodactyl over here. Oh well. We made her. Okay. What's combo here? There's one. Nope. Nice. Wheels. Okay. Oh, it's my favorite word in the world. I don't think there's a word that I say more than that. Maybe all right? Okay, all right. Oh, that wasn't cool. Oh. Ah. All right, you know what? It's not even necessary. More wheels. Whoa, pterodactyls. There go my wheels. Whoa, dart. Oops. Can't win them all. Alright. Get over here. We got another pterodactyl. There's that. A little more health, a little more firepower. Where's that star? Holy cow. Oh, that's not where I wanted to land. Oh, why are you being so difficult? There goes you. And there goes you. Jump up here. Okay. Is there even anything I need up there? There's something up there. A few things up there. Ooh, few things up there. Ah, these are all points. Ah, this is awful. Get away from me, dart. Okay. Not what I wanted. You don't always get what you want in life. That's just the way it goes. Pterodactyls. More points. More points, more points. I don't want points, man. I want firepower and I want health. I want the good stuff. Give me the good stuff. What's here? Yes, firepower and health. That's what I'm talking about. Whoa. House. Die. Okay. No, with your arrows. I guess they're kind of darts too. Blow darts. I guess they're both blow darts. Don't know why they made them different though. It's a lot of extra work. I guess one's a moving blow dart, and the other one's just part of the scenery. Oh, two dinosaurs. Oop. Okay. Wow. Wasn't expecting you. I am not remembering where the star's hiding. Ah, there we go. Oh, that was horribly timed. Nope. Gotcha. Get up there. Well, I wasn't bound to do much. There we go. Eat. Oh, that was close. Is this life? No bonus level. Alright. Is there life in the bonus level? Oh, actually this does look like the kind of level that would have a heart in it, but you gotta choose wisely. There's some firepower. Charge. Points. So the middle was good there. Let's try something different. More firepower. Not what I was looking for. See, and that's all you get. Because you can't jump down through platforms. You can't go back. You gotta commit. Commitment. It's a tough cookie. Alright, where in the higgity heck am I going? Alright, you want me to go up? Why wasn't I listening? Don't pay attention to what the points tell you to do. Well, why would you do something like that? Although they were lying to me in another world, weren't they? Shouldn't be getting hurt by such a stationary object. Okay, exit is here. That's why the arrow's there. It's reminding me to come back up. Okay, so this isn't where I want to be. So I need to get my butt back down here. Where is that stuff? No star here either. Okay. Here I was saying I remembered these darn levels. I was remembering that first one anyway. Yeah, just keep jumping into that water. That is some nice feeling water. Is there a platform to jump up? No. So clearly I want to go lower on this side, because I don't think I have. Where does this take me? Woo. Slippery slopes. Oh, wheels. Nice. You know what? Yep. Because I'm supposed to drive under all three of those, and if I don't, there's no way of getting across them. Where's that star, yo? Ow. Yeah, that was a dumb jump. Dumb jump. This might take a while. It's the worst part about having one firepower. Sit here and just wait patiently for the enemy to walk into my shot. Oop. Oop. Oh, and a life. Yeah. Always happy to have more lives. Because Lord knows I need them. Okay, what are you saying? Two of yous. There's one, there's two. Okay, helicopter. This is a good place to have a helicopter. I was complaining about the helicopter in the last world, but honestly, this is the type of world that really benefits from the helicopter, because for one, you're all over the place with these slopes. And for two, having the helicopter blade above your head to attack the enemies is a lot easier here than in some of the other areas. Let's see, exploration becomes a little bit easier with this guy in these levels. And then we just make our way back over here, blah, 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 up here, up. And we're up! Sorry if that was a little loud. Yeah, no, speaking of the Mario Duck Hunt, and how everyone owned it, yeah, I mean, I did too for a little bit. Although, when I first got an NES, when did I first get an NES? Would have had to have been a teenager. Actually, maybe not. I've had a few over the years, but yeah, because I think no. Wow, it's really hard to remember because I'm just having trouble like sectioning it off with when I got my PlayStation. I got my PlayStation pretty young too. It was definitely before I was a teenager, which is kind of why I mentioned like possibly when I was a teenager did I get my first NES. But I remember because the Genesis was technically mine and my brother's, and to be more specific, it was technically my brother's. But you know, when my oldest brother gave it to him for Christmas, essentially it was under the pretense that, you know, share with your little brother. I fell in love with it, practically stole the darn thing and was playing it all the time. Although my brother Eric definitely did a fine job of playing most of the games himself and far better at a lot of these than I am. And yeah, no, eventually he just kind of lost interest and had other things going on in his life, and then it just became really easy for me. But yeah, my buddy, my friend Anthony growing up, he got me my first game system that was really mine, and that was a PlayStation, a used PlayStation for my birthday. That was super appreciated. It came with a great game, Jade Cocoon. It was just the demo, actually. He got me Shadow of Darkness, which was not a bad RPG. Very much just like a Final Fantasy VII clone, honestly. But it really wasn't a bad RPG. And yeah, it came with a demo disc of Jade Cocoon, which is sweet game. I don't know, really interesting. Essentially going with the basic RPG, turn-based battle of things like Final Fantasy VII and around that era with the Polygon 3D and all that. But on top of that, they kind of took summoning a little further in Jade Cocoon, and even to the point where you could like combine your summons and essentially kind of like breed them to make interesting new creatures. It's kind of like fusing Pokemon with Final Fantasy VII. Really, really cool. Oh, that's so cool, because again, like, it was, as much as I enjoyed Shadow of Darkness, again, it was very Final Fantasy VII clone, but then but again, Jade Cocoon, even just being a really short demo, I fell in love with that, man. That was so good. Which I am planning on emulating my PS1 Classic there and getting that done up, because I own most PS1 games anyway, but again, I'd like to play them on something that might perform well. I'm not exactly sure how the little bugger's going to perform once modded, but oh gosh, is it ever the worst miniature console of them all. Yeah, honestly, it took forever for me to find Jade Cocoon as well. Like, once I lost the demo and, kids being kids, eventually I just didn't really have access to it. Here I am just dying. Hey, how you doing, Pterodactyl? But yeah, I had a hard time finding it too, until, of course, the internet made it easy to find whatever darn game we're looking for. There are still some tough ones, and there are a couple of games that I really regret getting rid of when I had them back in the day, before everybody wanted them and they were really expensive. Cubivore for GameCube being one of those. Never should have sold that. I loved it. I loved it to death back then, and I don't know why I ever sold it. Maybe because I thought it was a simple and easy enough game for whatever kid I was selling my GameCube to. Because that was usually the issue. I'd end up with half a dozen to a dozen consoles used, and mostly used. Every now and then I get a new one, but mostly used. But every now and then I'd have to get rid of some. I had just too many. I wasn't even playing them all, and I just didn't feel right, especially if I was selling it to a kid. I just didn't feel right selling the console and not at least giving them a game. So, unfortunately, some of my more childish and whimsical games that actually ended up being great games that I shouldn't have gotten rid of, I ended up giving to kids so they could have a fun experience with their game console that they got off of me. But, well, I never should have sold Cubivore, and I never should have sold Manhunt 2, and I never should have sold Ronald McDonald's Crystal Dreamland, something, I don't know. Ridiculous game, but actually really surprising in its innovation as a platformer. Like, they really nailed in quite a few mechanics. Super short game, nothing special, but it still holds its own as being, like, pretty, important to platform gaming. I don't remember all the details, but essentially a lot of the mechanics that they had in it were very unique and to its own, and it really kind of blew up a lot of concepts in platform gaming. I remember hearing about that. It might not be true, but I know the game itself is worth quite a bit of money because people are usually looking for it. Not that expensive Genesis cartridges are really that expensive. I mean, honestly, 64 cartridges tend to command a higher price, be them rare or be them common. Sega Genesis games can go anywhere from like $1.50 to, I think the most expensive one I've seen is $100 and some bucks, but it's definitely been a while since I've looked at price increases, which We all know there's been some as of late. I definitely didn't want to jump back up there. Yeah. Luckily, I still have lots of games to go through, but I don't know. I definitely had a habit of giving away the wrong game. Is the big thing, is that it usually ended up that the games I was giving away were some of the games that ended up costing me the most to get back, whereas I could have easily given them some other game that I could have gotten for like anywhere from like $2 to $5, you know. Oh well. Well, and I guess that's not entirely true too. I mean, you consider other consoles, you're looking more at like 40 for a regular game or something like that. Depends on the console. Yeah, you win, you lose, you find some stuff. Sometimes you go looking for stuff for a long time. A real long time. I was thinking of something the other day that I could never remember. Now I can't even remember what the heck it was, but I could never find it. Oh, right, it was this ridiculous TV show. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. You never know if the game you're giving up is really going to be that bad until, you find out years later that, hey, that was worth something. The worst part about the Ronald McDonald one, though, is that my brother really did try to warn me on that one, which I found really weird. Out of all the games that he warned me, he was like, I don't think you want to give that game away. And I didn't get it. I really didn't get it when I was younger, because there was nothing that special about it. It's a really short game. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, and that's just always a shame, right? Like when you kind of expect the market to go down. You see a game come out, and you're like, all right, well, if I wait a while, and of course as kids we didn't quite understand this, but we kind of got it, because a lot of products work the same way. They're like, it's out now, it's brand new, obviously it's expensive, the price should go down. And then you end up with a lot of these games where, again, I bought Cubivore for $5. $5 because it was on a discount rack. And it's like, last I checked, it was $250. Oh my gosh, that hurts, man. Oh, games should not be that expensive. I mean, buying a PS4 with PT's demo on it, that's something that's like major exclusivity. That makes a bit of sense that it'd be so ridiculously expensive, but I don't know, for a game to be that much. And I realize there's always the circumstances there's always circumstances of there not being a whole lot of copies, something that happened that ended up messing up the distribution, so nobody got any copies. And then, the next thing you know, it's the game that everybody's looking for, and because everybody wants it, sellers can pretty much name their price. And, it's unfortunate. It's like how you just got Conquer. And you got it for a good price, too, Conquer's Bad Fur Day for 64. Whereas I paid $150 used. So, I mean, you got a pretty solid deal on that. And not to mention, the value should have gone up by now. That's still a game to this day that people still look for. Maybe not as hard as when we were kids, but that's still a majorly sought-after game. I love Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I was never very good at it, but it's got that charm, man. Very charming game. Despite, being pretty crude. That's not where I want to be anyway. Oof. I suppose I should focus a tiny bit on the game. Whoa! What's over there? Oh, thought I had that. Oh, a little health. Something anyway. A little more health, a little firepower. Excuse me. Okay, I did get the star, too. So, I can technically get out of here. Whoa, whoa. Okay, cool beans. You gotta love falling into a secret. Alright, this is not where I want to go because I can't get out of here this way. Please kill him. And I can't jump up there either. Ooh, not the best timing. Ooh. Alright. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. I don't know. I mean, myself personally too. I mean, GameCube's kind of the one that I've been wanting to get back lately. I gotta be honest. To me, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, best era, like best generation of gaming for me. Quality of video games, and what I mean by that is like a real good grasp on the tech, on the hardware itself, and being able to like fully make really good games for them. Even though I mean Xbox being their first console, it was very impressive. I did like the original Xbox. I may not be an Xbox guy, but I loved the original Xbox a lot, and some of the games, especially a lot of the exclusives, were really, really great. And I mean, as far as Wii goes, I mean, I only really know a handful of good games anyway, and I've got most of them. Essentially, No More Heroes. That's right up there. Mad World, I've got those. I know there's lots of other great titles too, but I mean, for a large part, what's available on Wii is so much better on just about any other console. Again, I may not be much of an Xbox guy, but I'd kind of rather play most of those games on an Xbox 360 than I would on a Wii, if it's available. I mean, some of them definitely are exclusive, but I found that the Wii kind of dropped the ball, and what was sadder was that the Wii U really didn't pick it up. I mean, there's no... They can do no wrong now. They released the Switch. I mean, it's a friggin' wonderful, wonderful little dream console. But, and I mean, it took the Wii and the Wii U to get there. But I don't know. I mean, to me, the saddest part about the Wii not performing that well, because it's normal for new hardware and new tech to kind of not be that great. Oh, it's right there. Ah, you little bugger. But yeah, it's normal for new tech to not quite be harnessed for good game making and that kind of stuff, but for the Wii U to not really deliver anything all that great either, that also used the tech efficiently, I mean, that was also kind of sad. It definitely would have been nice to see a little better use. No, that's not where I want to go. Alright. We gotta keep going around. Yeah, I don't know. I found that, honestly, the Wii didn't have that much games to look for in the first place, but... Oh, you're right that I should probably take a look before anything gets too stupid. But... And I think that's a bigger thing, too, right? Is that factor that the Wii didn't necessarily have that many great games, that like there will be so few games to be sought after on the console that those games in particular will be so sought after that they could get ridiculously expensive. So that's still a really good call on your part, I think. Wow, that is not where I wanted to go again! But I think that's a pretty darn good call, that, you know, anybody looking to maybe snag up some Wii games that they loved when they were younger, or just tried recently and really liked, then by all means, it'd be a darn good idea to capitalize on that idea and make a little investment so it's not a big investment later on if you ever still want it. Yeah. Alright, we're back down here, and this time I kinda know where I'm going. Except I'm pretty sure that's not where I wanted to go! Oh well, that's what I get for talking my ass off and not paying attention to the game. Okay. I did it again! Although it's been a while since I was at the start of the level. Oh. Oh, jeez. Come on, please get up there. Oh, you are being an ass. Die. Die. Ow. Die. You take too many shots. Oh, yeah, no way. I mean, for sure. Like, I'm not... I mean, it's kind of like Adam Sandler movies, right? A ton of those are just absolute trash, but they sell. Like the actual, like, movie sale numbers, ticket sales are always pretty spectacular in an Adam Sandler movie. And I feel that it's kind of the same way with Nintendo. Especially for kids, and any parent with kids, and maybe they don't understand video games that well, then yeah, I mean, Nintendo is the family-friendly, kid-friendly console. So, I mean, it's kind of like Mario games, right? A lot of Mario games, even though you could say that they did a lot worse than others, for the most part, they all do super well. Like, I don't know. Unfortunately, a game's performance or a console's performance is not entirely... you know, dictating of come on, of whether it'll sell well or not. I mean, it's just the truth that just because, I mean, you can't find out that it didn't work that great or didn't have that many games for it until you bought it. I mean, of course, you could hear from other people. Word of mouth is always a big thing, but honestly, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. You know, you kind of got to try it to find out. You know, you got to know for yourself. Oh boy. And by all means, I appreciate, you know, you don't have to worry too much about us having kind of a conversation. Again, it's nice to have some stuff to talk about as opposed to sitting here and trying to figure it all out myself, because Lord knows I'd sit here and worry about just saying the same thing over and over again, and those kinds of things, or just blanking out entirely, kind of like I almost did there. And, you know, when you have a bit of a conversation to have, it's a little easier to keep it going. Oh boy, walk right into the fire. Whoa! Alright, now don't you dare set off without me. Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling I'd need those. Okay. This looks familiar. This is where I kept messing up just a second ago. Of course, all the enemies were dead then, so I didn't have to worry about it. And actually, this isn't the same spot, is it? I do really like these maps. I'm pretty sure I said it in the last one, but I love the way that it kind of makes a climbable maze out of these maps. I've definitely seen it on other platformers before, but I really find that they do a really interesting job at it in Tinhead. Boom. But I mean, as far as it goes, I did still enjoy a lot of the games on Wii, and it's the same thing with the Wii U. I mean, you can find a couple of games where you know, either Nintendo, usually it was, you know, Nintendo made the best games for their own console, for the most part. Like, whether it was the Wii or the Wii U, a lot of the stuff that they made was solely in the intention of using the hardware and using it as well as possible. So a lot of those were really, really great. Especially anything in like a party game. A Nintendo-made party game, even just Wii Sports, you know, wonderful, wonderful way to play either two of those consoles, or either one, sorry, of those consoles. I don't know, they play really, really well. And again, they're still wonderful little consoles, just not quite what people were expecting, I guess. And again, anytime that people aren't exactly, like devs aren't exactly making a game for the hardware specifically, and I mean, that's kind of going to happen when you're cross-platform, right? Like when you're on all the systems, it's got to work on all the systems, so you might not necessarily work out the unique workings of one particular console. Yeah. No, definitely, it can be. I mean, the first stream that I did, when your chat came up, I mean, I'm a good 6 feet away from my laptop screen, so I can't, I can barely see it. But like the first day, I had it set to the normal font, like the normal font size. So when you messaged, I looked up at the chat menu, and I see this tiny little white dot and what looks like a line of text, and I'm like, did somebody actually comment in chat? And I go and I look, I'm leaning right into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't read this. So as soon as that was done, I went into the settings and just pumped that up for the next time. It makes it a lot easier. 150 is working pretty good for me now, but as you can tell, I still have to lean forward a little bit. But I think that's more me just trying to focus on it clearly than it is the ability to read it. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I don't think I'd have too much trouble reading it just sitting back like this, but... And I agree. It's darn good practice. I mean, just about no matter what, you're kind of going to freeze up if you just read it in your head. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of spare time because I don't, you know, my work is pretty regular and whatnot, but it only takes me a few hours to get done in the day. So a lot of free time in the day, and I watch a fair amount of streaming and YouTube videos and that kind of stuff too. One thing that I kind of noticed, I noticed Lord Minion 777 doing it, but he reads a lot of his comments out loud, and honestly, I find that it works pretty good. Like, at the same time, he has a very active chat, being a, you know, pretty big friggin' YouTuber and streamer. He does... Oops. You know, he does mostly just like those notifications, the donations, the subs, cheers, that kind of stuff. But like I said, he just reads them out loud, and then that way it's less of a pause, right? You're already usually going to stop playing while you read or are talking to your chat. I'm doing circles again. But yeah, I mean, you want to interact with them. And yeah, I just, one little thing that I noticed that it kind of does keep things rolling and keep more of an audible consistency throughout the stream if you're reading them out loud. But at the same time, I mean, you're the first person that I'm really talking to since I started doing this, so... Oh, don't you fall down there again. Where does this go? Whoa, not quite what I was looking for, but I'll take that lightning bolt. Okay, yeah. Pretty sure this is where I want to go. Ah, don't hit that. Okay. Good. Whoa, whoa. Everybody's showing up all of a sudden. Okay. Wow. And please forgive if I'm in the middle of saying something and just completely stop and then don't even remember to continue what the hell I was saying. Definitely bound to happen from time to time. Just part of doing two things at once, I guess. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to go this way. I can't get up there, I don't think. Nope, can't jump that high. No, I don't. No, that's right, I can't go this way either. How do you get to that exit? No, wait. No, I think I'm still good. Yes. Yes. Now, I just gotta be careful not to jump through any platforms, like that one. Oi, I don't need to end up on the other level and have to go around in a circle again. Please die. Okay. Now, it's right there. So if I jump down here, follow these, good. Wasn't trying to trick me. Jump over this chasm. up here. Now there's going to be a pterodactyl. Yeah, because I saw him earlier when I discovered the exits. Oh. And that, it's always a good idea in this game to try and fill up as much as you can on health and firepower for the next level. It carries over, and especially for boss battles, holy cow, do you want that carried over, because you can't collect anything in a boss battle. Which is why you kind of want to kill him the first go, too, because if you die, you're back to 3 health and 1 firepower. Which technically you get a hit on 0 health, so it's more like 4 health. Always hated it when video games counted like that. 0 is not 1, game designers. 0 is the absence of substance, not an additional hit point. Drives me crazy. It's like game developers have no respect for how important the discovery of nothing was. Come to think of it, we're kind of blasting through this level, or this world, pretty good. What are we doing time-wise? Holy cow. Already 7:30. Well, I guess it's nice to have a stream going well enough that I don't really feel like I have to stop at an hour and a half. And also, my progress seems to jump in the hour and a half. It's not just that I feel that, like, the stream isn't lively enough, so I stop streaming, but I seem to accomplish on the hour and a half mark, and then it's just like, you know what, let's end on a good note, rather than me failing and screaming. Whoa! Okay, nothing there, so let's drop down here. Wah! Gotta love it when he shows up in a little area where it's too tight for me to do much of anything about. Blow dart! Oh, that is uncool! What is this? More health. I'm happy to have health. There's that guy. More firepower. Alright. Whoa, that's precarious. Well, if I turn around, I can kill this guy at least. Ooh, I want that health. That's true. It is very true, Rag, that by all means, the failing and screaming can definitely make some excellent content, and especially when it's you. I'll be honest, man, like, you're funny. Like, when you scream about something, it's got a musical tone to it, you know, it's fun to listen to, it's got that, like I said, it's musical, it's got like a wind down and everything. For me, I just kind of sound scary for the most part. So, I mean, I try not to. I mean, I can be kind of musical and funny about it too, but that's the thing, I have to watch myself so much, because I just have such a ding-dang temper. Completely unnecessary temper too. It's just a dang game. But that's the thing. I mean, I try to keep it down low. Hopefully, when I get more comfortable with streaming and more comfortable with essentially doing it and whatnot, and because I mean that's a part of it too. I mean, one of the reasons that I always felt and would get so angry at video games is that concept of stress, that concept of pressure and feeling like, you know, like. Either the fact that, like, I can do this, so I have to do this, or even just the concept of refusing to be beaten by a computer. Horrible and as stupid as that is, it just, even as a young child, it insulted me. It insulted me to no end to be beaten by a computer. I get it. Computers are sophisticated. You know, we're very close to creating true AI. You know, they as far as it goes, they have every capability to outdo us. It's just, I just never liked it. Alright. Always gotta figure out those little musical tunes. Let me get over there. Whoa. Alright. Yeah, eventually I'm sure that I'll feel a little less stressed about it and feel a little more comfortable with loading up Bennett 40. See if we can get through that or not. I've had it for well over a year. And, well, hello, darling. Of course I know you're here, too. I know you're watching. But I do appreciate you saying hi. But yeah, no, what was I saying? I've had Bennett 40 for quite a while. Bennett 40's getting over it, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't, Aaron off of Game Grumps said it, and it's pretty true that, like, I don't know, as a game, I don't know why I'd ever load that up and just play it. Like, you're kind of a masochist? Is that correct? Is it a masochist that hurts themselves? Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. You're going to feel a pressure at first, a nervousness. Exactly. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, even just today, the last 3 Tinhead streams started with the most awkward hellos possible, but today I actually pulled off a decent intro. Still working on it. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it takes time, it takes practice. Performing is something I've never had too much trouble at. You know me, I was always the class clown. But, you know, that's part of the reason why eventually I didn't exactly become so comfortable with it and became a little more introverted, is that, I don't know, maybe I always felt that I was probably hamming it up a bit too much and probably getting on some people's nerves or something, but I know that it can be useful for, you know, a useful skill for doing the streaming and stuff. Oh, I really thought you were dead. But, yeah, no, I'll just keep working at it, and always smiles. I guess. Okay. I don't smile that much. And yes, that is something that I have been doing because my girlfriend suggested it. It actually works pretty good, and at least it's a little more comical than me, like I said, screaming in a slightly more scary tone. What am I doing here? Yeah, I don't even want up there. You get over there. No? How am I? Hey! Come back here. Okay, now they're synced. I see. They desync. Whoa! No, thank you. Nope, not gonna try to. Oh, what the? There's the exit. No, don't kill me now! Ah! Stop it! Stop! Ah, they just throw everybody at me at once. Like, oh, you're almost done the level. Well, here you go. You're not getting through this thing that easily. It's good game design. It is good game design. Not that everything about this game is necessarily perfect in its design. Alyssa's got the stream playing in the other room, and I just heard me peek the living fuck out of the mic. Oh boy. Alright. And that's another reason I probably shouldn't be yelling, at least yet. At least until I can get a better quality mic. Again, this is just a really cheap little condenser mic. Like, I should even at least get a better condenser mic, but I don't see why I'd bother getting a condenser when what I'd want is a friggin' dynamic shotgun, for sure. I do prefer the idea of it just being right here, right in my face, and, you know, it being a little less difficult to pick up the rest of the room. I mean, I'm kind of just in a sound blocked corner of the living room. And essentially, if Alyssa's anywhere in the living room or the kitchen doing anything, it all picks up. So I'd much rather have a dynamic microphone so she can keep living her life and not have to hide in the bedroom when I'm streaming. But we'll get there one step at a time. Honestly, it wasn't very cheap getting this whole setup as it is, period. Acoustic foam wasn't necessarily cheap. I could have got it probably cheaper, but I just decided to go with a source that I know I could trust on the quality of it, and just stick to that. And then of course the camera, I don't know, I didn't have anything for a camera, so again, I don't see much point to half-assing it first time around. Well, it took a lot of time to try to get it that way. I mean, I really did have to put all of it together, including the shelf itself behind me, just to have the lights and that kind of stuff. No, fortunately not exactly as bright as I'd like them to be, but I mean, I could probably... I mean, that's the big thing, is just trying to find out a better lighting setup, because right now it is just kind of going off of the few bits of lighting that I have, the window next to me with a light filtering curtain, light up this side, and then a light over here with the camera, lighting up this side. And of course, it's a very good camera, so the light dark adjust is pretty quick. Again, I really didn't cheap out on the camera, so. But anyway, enough talking about the gear. Back to the game. Because now I don't even know where the hell I was. That's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. That's alright. We'll figure it out. Oh, this looks familiar. I'm pretty sure the star's around here somewhere. Now there's a jerk pterodactyl gonna show up out of nowhere. Yep, not this time, buddy. Alright. Yeah, essentially all I'm really missing for the setup is the dynamic shotgun mic. And then instead of having a TV table in front of me with all my cell phone as a stream deck and keyboard and mouse and all that setup, I'd like to get one of those chair hookups, mouse, keyboard, table thingy. We'll see if that works out or not. They're a little pricey for what they are. And unlike the acoustic foam, it's not so much easier to find that cheaper price, you know, on things like Wish or Alibaba or that kind of thing. They're pretty much the exact same price as they are on Amazon, so it's kind of just worth getting on Amazon. I don't remember where the star was now. Again, a lot of this is looking familiar, but I was probably stumbling around the level at the beginning, just like I am right now, honestly. Take that. Don't want to jump right down there. Alright. At least there was a little firepower hiding in all those points. Not a fan of points. Nope. 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 There we go. Oh, get out of my face. He just chases you down, man. No mercy. Yeah, thank you. I was very impressed with it myself, too. I was like, oh, man, this is a lovely camera. But, I mean, it is still just like a very standard webcam. It is very much made for streaming and that, you know, that very responsive, high-quality video. But at the same time, you know, you can go even fancier, you know, to give you those kinds of abilities like face tracking. Face tracking camera can really come in handy. Mostly for VR. I don't necessarily I'm not, you know, moving around a little bit, but I'm not moving around too much. So, you know, not the most important thing for regular streaming, but like I was telling you, Rag, I'd love to get a Quest 2 one of these days here soon, especially that, you know, that's something that I expected to maybe get a little more expensive, but that's holding pretty nicely where it's at. Now, if I remember correctly, this brought me to the exit, and I had the star at this point, so I don't want to go there yet. I'm going to explore a bit. Yeah, there it is. Alright, cool. Exploring accomplished. But yeah, what was it? Not Saturday that just passed, but the Saturday before, I went to this cool spot called... Oh, I'm going to look that up, because I'd like to give them a shout-out, as opposed to just pretending like I remember what the name was. Oops. But my buddy and I went down there because we thought we'd be checking out like a new arcade. It's called Dead Dino Gaming Incorporated. And I don't know, you might have heard of it, Rag, but I know you like me, haven't been living in Fredericton for quite a while. But they were originally in Fredericton, but because of COVID and all this nonsense, the location that they were in wasn't accommodating, neither was the parking area. So they moved themselves over to Ormukto. And again, we were kind of more under the impression that it was going to be an arcade with arcade cabinets and that kind of stuff. But what Dead Dino Gaming Incorporated is actually like a, I don't know, I mean, I guess a good way to describe it would kind of be like dualies. You literally go in and you rent a good computer, or you rent a VR space. They even literally have like just a spot with 2 couches and a microwave to like heat things up, and it's interesting little spot like that. And anyway, we popped in, we tried VR because neither of us had ever done it before. I mean, I've watched people play VR till the cows come home, but never played it myself. So we tried it out, and I mean, it was just an old HTC vibe with all the cords and all the hassle, but it still played really well. And again, being an older model with the cameras for tracking, like, again, that's those are the big innovations that everybody was looking for with the Quest 2. But like I said, everything ran really nicely, even without that perfect tracking, even without cords. So again, that encouraged me that much more. That it's like, well, if everybody considers it that much better to move up to the Quest 2 or HTC's new, I believe Vive has a new headset. The only problem with that newer headset, I was watching Jacksepticeye use it. Son of a gun. And he, the main thing just being, and he pointed it out himself, that like some new consoles, most VR games, were essentially were never made for it. They're a little too primitive. And the main thing being is the Vive's new controller. It uses a sensor in the actual grip of the controller, so each finger is responsive. So you can literally like do any hand gesture that you want using it. So that's new game dev that they have to figure out. So there's not a ton of games for it yet, but it'll be coming soon, I'm sure. But that's why I'm mostly looking into a Quest 2 for now. Don't you dare kill me! Get out of here! Wait, wasn't the exit right over there? Where am I? What is going on? Okay, yes, I have to climb this. Okay. Getting myself all distracted, and I don't want to die. No, come back. Platforms, please. Cooperate with me. Stop. Sink. No. The timing. Oh, the timing. Oh, come on! This is agony. They knew what they were doing here. They knew what they were doing. This is bad. Like, this is just bad. This is bad show, guys. Oh my gosh. I don't like this. I remember this being a lot easier when I was younger. Not today. Oh, yeah! Get up there. Oh, right, don't take him here. Take him here. Ah, no! Okay. Alright, we'll get back up. We'll get back up. We'll get back up. Someday. Oh, yeah! Wow, you thought you could kill me, but you couldn't. Alright, who's hiding down there? Okay, no one. Ah, what are you doing? Yes! Yes! Health and firepower to take to the next level. Is that the exit? No, that's not the exit. Why am I not finding the exit? Where's the exit? Oh, I swear I thought it was over here. Ah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more traveling. This game is good at that. Again, that's the joy of like it's this being like a upwards and downwards maze. Is that does it to me all the time. I feel like the exit's right there, and it just, then I have to take a gauntlet to get there, you know? Alright. Let me back up! Oh my gosh, that is such bullshit. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. We're getting there. Would you die, please? There were more than enough shots to kill you. Alright, what's down here? Nothing over there. Nothing over there. Ah, get away from me! Stupid fire. Alright. What? Let me back up! This is cheap. This is real cheap. No, you must go through all the danger. Horse malarkey! Oh. Okay. One more time. How are we doing on time? Actually, speaking of time, alright, we've got 20 minutes. I don't want to take streams too far past 2 hours. Not exactly. I mean, the main thing just being is that I definitely tend to hit stalemates as far as progress goes if I spend too much time playing a game. And then that's where it starts getting to that frustration point where it's not fun for anyone to watch, so we don't need none of that. Okay. I think it's mostly just to that factor that, like, after... Oh, excuse me, with the gas. After a while, you're just doing the same stuff over and over again. And especially for me, you know, the amount of pot I smoke, I don't have the greatest short-term memory. So it can be very frustrating to get hit by the same thing over and over again, only to remember the second you're getting hit that you're, you know, you've done this before and you really shouldn't be getting hit again. But, yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Boy, that felt just as lame saying that as it probably did, or they were insinuating in Bruce Almighty anyway. I jumped up there last time. And then I went this way. I was looking at these guys, seeing what they had to say about it. Whoa! Oh well, at least he's dead. There's a lightning bolt here. And we don't want to jump down there. And then I came over here. This is all water. Yep. And that's bing, bong. Oh, no, right. Bing, bong, bong, bing. Alrighty then. We're back on track. At least this is that second part of this map. Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't go down here last time. For obvious reasons. This is not where you want to go. Okay. Up. See what I mean? I got hit by that last time. I knew it was there. I didn't remember until the second I got hit by it. Alright. Oh, I was lucky. Very lucky. Ah, yes. Do I drop down here? Yes, I do. Alright, that's what I did to get the star. And now it's just a gauntlet and a half to get to the friggin' exit. And that, you know, maybe I'm blaming the pot smoking just deliberately. I don't. But I've always struggled with focus. But I don't know if you remember, because I'm pretty sure we were friends at the time. But I literally just went across to that medical center across from the school to have a doctor essentially look over and see if I had ADD or ADHD, and everything came back clean, so I don't know. Maybe it is just the pot. Yeah. No, I mean, they are all over the place. And again, yeah, I remember a lot about these games, but, well, unfortunately, it's mostly muscle memory than it is anything else, especially going quite a few years not really playing video games a whole heck of a lot. I think, like a lot of people, I got disenchanted with them for a while, especially as AAA mainstream games were just garbage for a while. Like I said, after that generation of PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, which, just on the note of the Game Boy Advance, I'm just going to say this real quick, the Game Boy Advance was perfect in its shape and size. Like, no Game Boy felt better to hold. Like, even a DS can suck my dick. I hate those things. I've always hated them. That's one thing that I've been more angry at Nintendo for than anything else, is replacing the Game Boy with that dual screen piece of garbage. Ugh. It works fine. I'm not trying to give people a hard time about the dual screen. It's an interesting concept. People loved it. It sold great. Games are made for it. It works. Huzzah. It's not a Game Boy. And it's never going to be. And it's never going to be anywhere near as good. Period. It will always suck in comparison. And of course, that's just my opinion. It certainly doesn't mean anything. But what I was going to say... Jeez, I get off track so easily. But what I was going to say was the fact that the only thing about the Game Boy Advance SP that I would consider better is the illuminated screen. That illuminated screen accessory for the Game Boy Advance sucked. And if the Game Boy Advance just had an illuminated screen, which I know some people do, like they make modified Game Boy Advances with the illuminated screens, which are wonderful. Yeah, it's a great way to... Yeah. Oh, man, it felt so great. And I mean, even just originally, it was... I mean, I can understand wanting to keep the Game Boy somewhat small and always kind of keeping handhelds compact. That's one thing that I love about the Switch, too, is that they dropped that. They were like, you know what, maybe a handheld should feel good. Maybe you should have a screen where you can see what in the flip you're doing. Yeah, I mean, it was so awkward. The Game Boy Advance SP was so awkward to hold. And honestly, I mean, I felt like Game Boy Advance games were honestly more advanced than the Game Boy Advance SP games. I almost felt like they were a step backwards. Like, that's how bad they were. It didn't feel like they were making innovation in the Game Boy games. It literally felt like they were making backwards progress. Like, Game Boy Advance games look better. And I mean, well, and technically they were still just Game Boy Advance games made for the SP, like, past that, but I just didn't find it was an improvement. And then maybe that was part of Nintendo kind of already in the works of dropping the label altogether of Game Boy, which they technically didn't. There was the Game Boy Micro, wonderful little bugger too, honestly. It's actually really great and quite comfortable for how ridiculously tiny it is. It actually holds quite nicely, but it also emulates the shape of the Game Boy Advance pretty closely. But yeah, I don't know, I never liked the dual screen. Having said that though, Game Boy Advance games were never that great and definitely suffered in the audio. There was almost always like a hiss or a scratch, whatever you want to call it. I definitely would call it more of a hiss. They tend to call it toothiness in sound design, but I'm no sound engineer, so I don't know much of anything about it. Oh, don't fall. Oh, okay. There's gonna be pterodactyls here. There always is. Yeah, you little bugger! Oh. And I just remember him from last time. being the bane of my existence then. Alright. I guess I still technically have another hit after this, but this is my last life. And I would at least like to... okay. Health! Exit! Get me up there! Yes! Alright. As I mentioned, I do like to end these things on a good note. So we are about... and this is the last level before the boss. So, I'm going to stop here, even though this is actually the level that I remember the absolute best. This is... again, I would go to the last world every now and then, but I had a hard time even just getting through the last world as a kid. So, this code, right here, this was the one that I used the most, was to get to this level. And then from here, you beat this level real quick, or you learn this level, get it down, and then bam, you're on to the last boss of the game, and you can beat the game. However, and I'm not 100% sure on this, whether I'm just crazy and remembered it completely wrong, but when I was a kid, every time we would get to the last boss, because we had to do it as passwords, we never really sat down and played the game for that long, nor did we just leave the Sega running. Well, Eric certainly didn't, because he believed in keeping it in good shape. I was just a kid, and I was fine with letting it run all the time. But anyway, when we would get there, using a password, you would only have the quote-unquote last boss that we'll be getting to after this level. But there is a second and final boss, which as a kid, I remember that when we used the passwords, I never saw the second boss. But if you went through the game entirely, which I did do one time, I actually sat from beginning to end and played the whole game without any game overs, because unfortunately once you get a game over, you gotta start all over. There's no save features, no continues. And when I did it, you actually fought the very last boss. But however, I wanted to double check this before I started, because I didn't just want to call my brother out on it and then embarrass myself by being completely wrong live on stream. But the thing was that I had never, even my brother wasn't familiar with the fact, when I had mentioned it to him, which he could have just forgotten at the time, but he himself wasn't aware of the fact that the guy that we saw in the beginning cutscene is the actual final boss that you fight as soon as this final boss dies. But like I said, I tried this out on my flashback when I first started up, just to see if that was something that I should try to do for the stream, just try to go from start to finish. But when I put in the code for the last boss and tried it out, they were both there. So either I'm remembering it wrong as a kid, or we just never, or it has something to do with the flashback. That the ability, that the flashback has some ability of maintaining like a memory of it, as opposed to the original Sega not being able to do that. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I am going to call it a night here. I didn't even end up taking a break today, which is pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I am going to call it a night, end it on a good note, and I will pick this up. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. I do still have a little more running around to do like I did today, but even though it was really tight, I still managed to squeeze it in. So I'll probably try to finish this off tomorrow. Should be no problem to finish the game in one more stream. So I'll get that done tomorrow, but I have been working and running around since, I'm going to say, 4 o'clock this morning. So I'm going to go to bed. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.